Good morning, everybody. Good to see you
Good
all.
morning.
I'll call the meeting to order. Cassandra, you want to call the roll, please?
Of course, Mr. Chair. Courtney League, as designee for Secretary Chaudhry, is here. Mr. Derenberg,
Here.
Vice Chair Eberhardt, is present. Chuck Boyd, as designee for Secretary Flora,
Present.
Ms. Lala,
Present.
Krishna Talur, as designee for Dr. Wright,
Present.
and Chair Casemeyer.
Here. Thank
You have a
you.
quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Do you have any public comment? No public comment?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Alex, you want to give your report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to you, Vice Chair Eberhardt, members of the commission. I'm dialing in from beautiful Worcester County from the MACO conference. Great to see you. Today's agenda is a little bit shorter than our typical, but I will not take that as a license to extend my remarks beyond what is of greatest importance to mention at this time. So first off, a quick update on the progress of the project to restore Allegheny County's Western Port Elementary School, which was damaged by storm-related flooding in May. Allegheny County Public Schools is now well into the design and repair work needed to reopen the school later this month using just the second and third floors of the building while their contractors work through the fall to repair the damaged first floor. At this time, Allegheny County Public Schools continues to expect that it will not request any significant state funding assistance for the project. However, if this were to change in the coming months and Allegheny County Public Schools were to submit a request for emergency funding, IAC staff stand ready to facilitate bringing that request to you. Since last month's meeting, unfortunately, I have to report that Williamsport High School in Washington County was closed due to asbestos contamination. Washington County Public Schools is working to establish its plan for serving the students of Williamsport High School in the fall, as well as to conduct the needed remediation and repair work to reopen the school. The source and cause of the exposure of asbestos are not yet fully clear. IAC staff have expressed our readiness to Washington County Public Schools to receive a request for emergency funding assistance should they choose to submit one. I will absolutely keep you posted on that work. Third, today I want to note that our staff is continuing to work hard with each of Maryland's school districts around their capital plans for the coming fiscal year, as well as the coming decade. Just yesterday, I met with an Eastern Shore superintendent about that school system's facilities needs, and I underscored that the IAC can help school districts best if we see and understand every district's stack of coming projects that will be likely to come to you here in coming years for a state share of funding. Why? Because if the state and county decision makers who determine capital appropriations do not have estimates of the cost of the coming projects needed to ensure that every student has a safe, healthy, and educationally sufficient learning environment, and that the facilities portfolios are fiscally sustainable, then they will not know what to plan to fund. So IAC staff are working to estimate the capital dollars that will be needed annually to achieve the outcomes that I know we all want for Maryland's students. And I will factor some of this data into the IAC's upcoming capital budget request for fiscal 2027 and in my upcoming presentations to the state's Capital Debt Affordability Committee, which take place in September. So I look forward to reporting results from this work as it progresses. Last but not least, Mr. Derenberg requested last month a presentation of data on state school construction funding to LEAs over the past decade compared with construction costs. Staff are working to compile the needed data, but there's still some more work to be done on that. So we will have it ready for you at the September meeting. I appreciate your patience. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Alex on the director's report? Thank you. The consent agenda, Alex, any comments?
No, Mr. Chair, this month's agenda includes the regular administrative items, including some funding reversions and a couple of corrections. We have a couple property related items that are very small and easements, nothing of concern to mention.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the consent agenda? Mr.
So
Darren Bird?
moved.
Senator Law seconds. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye or raise your hands. Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 3, FY 2026 Healthy School Facility Fund recommendations. Arabia?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, Madam
Good morning.
Vice Chair, and members of the Commission. As mandated by Education Article 5-322, IAC staff are recommending that half of the $90 million appropriated for this year's Healthy Schools Facility Fund program and a total of $9.1 million from the statewide reserve fund account be earmarked, or awarded, I should say, to address environmental health risks at 28 out of 71 project submissions received by the IAC. The remaining appropriation totaling $45 million and available prior year funds earmarked for Baltimore City Public Schools have been set aside for project submissions due by the end of next month. The IAC application process is competitive and based on the prioritization of the project categories outlined in the program's Administrative Procedures Guide. The total amount of funding approved by this commission throughout the duration of this program, including today's recommendation, totals $457.3 million. All requests for funding are thoroughly evaluated by the capital project managers and other IAC team members to determine projects that require immediate corrective actions. This in no way diminishes the importance of the other project submissions that were not recommended. The dilemma is that the school construction needs continue to outweigh the amount of available state funding. While this program is expected to conclude on June 30th, 2026, the Public School Facilities Priority Fund is anticipated to receive its first appropriation of funds in FY 2027. The intent of the fund is to address facility needs of the highest priority in Maryland, as identified by the statewide facilities assessment. The work group on the assessment and funding of school facilities has been tasked with determining how the scores will be used to prioritize projects, and until that is determined, the award of funding will resemble the Healthy Schools Facility Fund program. The table below is a summary of how the funds are recommended to be dispersed based on the top 3 prioritized categories: immediate risk, lead levels of at least 5 parts per billion, and roof projects. Mr. Chair, I will now read the motion, which is to approve fiscal year 2026 Healthy School Facility Fund project awards as presented, totaling $54,146,859.
Thank you, Arabia. For purposes of discussion, do I hear a motion to that effect? Mr. Darren Bird makes a motion. Ms. Everhart seconds. Questions, discussion? So how long is this program supposed to last, Alex? How long is there a date?
Healthy Schools is in its final fiscal year, so it will end at the end of this fiscal 26 cycle. But in effect, it's going to be replaced for the next year with the priority fund being awarded out on a very, very similar basis. So it, practically speaking, it will essentially function through 27, just with a different amount.
Okay. Do I hear, all in favor of the motion, please raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much.
No.
Item 4, FY 2024 Healthy School Facility Fund Amendments, Baltimore City Public Schools, Arabia.
Yes. Melissa Wilfon, the IAC's Capital Projects Manager, has joined me and is available to address any technical questions that you may have. For this item, the IAC is being asked to approve several actions. As background information, Baltimore City was awarded funding through the FY 2024 Healthy Schools Facility Fund Program, received contract award approval and reimbursement for design costs associated with the Windows and Doors project at Edgewood Elementary School. However, the Board of School Commissioners recently advised city schools that a motion to close and surplus the facility had been approved. Based on this information, City Schools is requesting approval to revert any unused funding for this program to their reserve fund account, and due to high bid results, apply the funding to the Harbor City Building Windows and Doors project. In order to comply with the LEA's request, staff are recommending that the Commission approve a reduction of the recommended state funds for the Edgewood Elementary Windows and Doors contract award and increase the state recommended funding for the Harbor City Building Windows and Doors contract award. I can now read the motion, which is to revise the Baltimore City Public Schools Edgewood Elementary Windows Doors Project Contract Award with Walton Studio Architects to reflect a total state award of $94,256.98. Next is to rescind a total of $1,845,043.02 from the FY 2024 Healthy Schools Facility Fund Edgewood Elementary Window Doors Project to the LEA Reserve Fund account. Also, to increase the maximum state award for the Harbor City Building Windows and Doors Project and award an additional $1,845,043.02 to the project from the LEA's Reserve Fund account for a revised maximum state award and total state funding amount of $3,735,063.02. Also, to revise the City Schools Harbor City Building Window Doors Project contract with Harris Kupfer Architects, Inc. from $77,765 to $68,475 based on the submitted reimbursement request. And finally, to revise the City Schools Harbor City Building Windows and Doors Project contract award with Autumn Contracting, Inc. to reflect the state share total of $3,666,588.02 and a local share of $907,401.98.
Thank you, Arabia.
You're welcome.
Do I hear a motion to this effect? Ms. Everhart and Mr. Derenberg seconds. Questions for Arabia about this motion?
Arabia, that was a lot of numbers.
Yes, it was.
A lot of sense.
We're all done. Is Harbor City Windows and Doors completed then or no with this project?
I'll defer to Melissa, our technical expert.
No, they still have they have 100% state share and they still have a slight local share, but it's a significant impact on covering the high bid prices.
So this is really because the high bid's not getting more work done.
Right. Yeah.
So it would be like 50% windows and doors done, or is there a percentage that?
No, it's only the project is just over $4 million and we're covering 3.7. So it's about a $900,000 difference.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, maximum state award increase Somerset County Public Schools, Chrisfield Academy and High School Limited Renovation Project. Sean?
Good morning, Mr. Chair,
Morning.
Madam Vice Chair, members of the Commission. On June 18th, IAC staff received a request from Somerset County Public Schools to increase the maximum state award of $38,380,515 for the Crisfield Academy and High School limited renovation by $5,560,036 to $43,940,551. This was requested due to increased costs encountered during the construction bidding process, with the primary increases occurring in the site work, general trades, and electrical bid packages. Along with this MSA increased request, Somerset County Public Schools has asked the Executive Director to approve the inclusion of allowances per the IAC's Administrative Procedures Guide, Section 303B, which provides an exception for allowances that are recommended by the project architect and/or engineer record that specify a unit cost to establish a price for a known product where the number of units cannot be defined in advance. This request has been reviewed by staff, and if this MSA increase is approved by the IAC, it is the intent of the Executive Director to approve this exception request. This project was previously awarded $14,838,484 through the fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2026 CIP and the Built to Learn Act programs, and will request the remainder of the funding in future CIP years. I will now read the motion, which is to increase the maximum state award for the Somerset County Public Schools Crisfield Academy and High School limited renovation project by $5,560,036 from $38,380,515 to $43,940,551 in accordance with COMAR 14390208C.
Thank you, Sean. Do I hear a motion to this effect? Ms. Everhart makes a motion. Mr. League seconds. Questions? Alex, any comment on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a brief one. This is another example of how the IAC is doing its best to respond to cost increases in the field on a case-by-case basis, rather than in a single overarching increase in the state cost per square foot, so that we do not drive the cost in the market in Maryland up, but yet we also continue to support school districts in completing their projects when they do face increased costs, like in this case. And just one other thing is that their request includes approving some allowances that use a unit cost basis. And that is, I think, one of our recent policy improvements, because the IC generally does not participate in allowances. However, when it is clear that there will be a need in the project and the quantity is not yet knowable, but the costs of that need can be controlled through a unit price limitation, it is a reasonable thing to support in order to facilitate getting the needed work done on the project. So this is a great example of how we've continued to improve our policies to support as much as the state can reasonably and properly support on projects. And thank you for asking.
Any questions? All in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. The last item, number 6, proposed COMAR amendments. Cassandra.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chair, members.
Good morning.
I'm happy to close out this brief but still important agenda with even more proposed changes to COMAR. As you all know, we've been working on overhauling our regulations and procedures over the last few years, first to align with statutory changes, second to ensure that our regulations and procedures align with the IAC's mission of achieving educational sufficiency and fiscal sustainability, and third to streamline and clarify our processes for the ease of our stakeholders. In this agenda, we're proposing to modify COMAR to, starting at the top of page 90, you'll see we want to acknowledge that sometimes elementary school students, especially 5th graders, actually attend a middle school and are programmed like middle school students, meaning that they don't spend the majority of their day in a single classroom. This change allows us to count kids in that situation as middle schoolers with a lower utilization rate instead of like elementary school students. Next, we clarify that an auxiliary gym up to 6,000 square feet counts as a single teaching station. Right now, these would count as two, which isn't appropriate for a gym of that size. It allows for an increase to the maximum state award for a project that qualifies for the net zero add-on after the maximum state award is established. That's because sometimes that happens further in design, so it's important that we be able to add that additional funding. We're doing a little bit of cleanup to the requirement around rescinding project awards, which were written prior to IAC participation in project development and design. And finally, on page 91, you'll see that we're modifying requirements around MBE. That directly mirrors a statutory requirement, which requires that the IAC require the LEAs to adopt an MBE policy. I said require a lot in that sentence. I apologize. The last thing I want to note is that your staff are very eager to bring you items, and we did include one item in the motion that we didn't actually put in the COMAR changes because we're bringing it next month, and that is the definition of modular construction. So I'm going to read, Mr. Chair, a slightly revised motion to approve amendments to COMAR 1439-0205, 08, 10, 11, and 1439-0306 to clarify the calculation of state-rated capacity in certain circumstances, clarify when changes can be made to the maximum state construction allocation, clarify when the IAC can rescind funds after project approval if not under contract, make explicit certain LEA requirements regarding minority business enterprise procurement, and renumber the provisions of COMAR 1439-02 as needed to accommodate the amendments proposed herein.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion supporting this effect without the definition for modular construction? Is that correct?
Correct.
Krishna. Oh, okay. Krishna makes them. I thought you had a question. Excuse me. Here's a second, Ms. Everhart. Any discussion? Pretty simple day here. All in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right. Let's say we had a quick agenda. Any questions in general about issues before us? A lot of work going on in the background. Budget preparations, CDAC hearings. Well, do I hear a motion that we adjourn? Mr. Derenberg and Mr. Boyd seconds. All in favor, say aye. Have a good rest of the summer, and thank